Let's go. Welcome back, guys, to a brand new stream. You see the title, you see the thumbnail. We're going to talk about New York City politics. And they just recently had the debate, which was a little crazy. But yeah, guys, let's get right into the video, man. Listen, man, I appreciate you guys joining the stream. You know who I am. My name is Lannie. Thank you guys very much, man. Let's get to it. Yeah, man, I'm lagging today. This setup is killing me today, dude. I honestly been trying to get on stream for the past 20 minutes, and the lagging is just outrageous. As you can tell, the video is lagging. It's lagging, and I've been trying to figure it out. I've been trying to get on stream for the past 22 minutes, from since 3 p.m. I've been trying to get on stream. 3 p.m. Eastern, because I'm in New York State, but I've been trying to get on stream since 3 o'clock, dude, and it's 3:22, so it's lagging. I just like, you know what, let me just get on stream because it's getting late and later and later. It's nothing I could do. I'm trying my best to resolve it, but it's outrageous, dude. Outrageous. The lagging is out of control and it's not in my hands. Nothing I could really do about it. But yeah, we're gonna get into the debate today of the guys who is basically trying to take Mayor Adams' job. They're trying to, well, not take his job. They're trying to replace Mayor Adams, the New York City mayor's debate. Basically, the new mayor to New York has to. The election is in November, so they're gonna find a new mayor, because Mr. Adams actually dropped out the race, so he has no chance of actually getting a second term. So Mayor Adams is going to do one term, which he did 4 years. And now there are 3 guys that we're going to watch tonight that are actually trying to become the new mayor, which we have Mr. Andrew Cuomo, who been the governor of New York State. Mr. Andrew Cuomo been in politics for years. His father was also a governor, so he been in politics since he was born, basically. And then you have Curtis, a gentleman who's on the Republican side, that he basically built an organization in New York State to combat the crime. Basically, whenever it's high crime areas, he has an organization that deployed people in those neighborhoods, in those communities, to basically get the violence under control, which is a very good thing that he has, which is a very good organization. Mr. Curtis, he's in charge. He's the CEO of that organization. You know, like, I always thought he was a very good organization, you know, and he's been doing that for years throughout New York State. You know, wherever is high crime, wherever is any type of violence, him and his team basically go into those communities, go into those neighborhoods, and do the best they can to resolve the issues that's going on in those places. And then we have the newcomer. I can't really pronounce this guy's name, and no disrespect to him at all. Zuran. I'm not gonna say the other name because I can't pronounce it, dude. I can't pronounce it, and I don't want to be disrespectful to this gentleman. So, and I rehearse his name, first and last name. So I'm like, I can't figure out. I'm just gonna say Zoran. Hopefully, I'm saying that one right. But yeah, he's a brand new comer in the. He's not a brand new politician. He's been in the city council for a couple of years. He's been in the city council, so he's been into politics. But this is like the first time he ran for like a major office. Running for a city council is not as running for the mayor. So it's more for, this is like a step up to what he's currently doing in New York State. And listen, I wish all three of these gentlemen the best, and the best will win. Let's live it like that. The best, whomever the best might be in November, which when election day comes, I wish all three of these gentlemen the best, and whoever God gives the title to, may God bless them all. Let's get right into the video, guys. Let's literally go into the video right now. No more talking.
Thank you very much for sponsoring this debate and having all of us. The one headline, how many characters in the headline?
You're familiar with headline length.
Rent down, comma, crime down, comma, education scores up, comma, more jobs in New York City.
Now we're getting maybe a little over the average headline length, but
optimism high.
thank you. Mr. Sliwa.
Curtis Sliwa is without his iconic red beret, because I'm talking to the people of New York City about the really serious issues of affordability, the cost of living, and obviously what I spent most of my life doing, which is public safety in the streets and the subways.
We would love a headline from you. What will your headline be, your big headline, and your number one as mayor?
Curtis Sliwa exceeds all expectations.
Listen, Mr. Curtis is running on the Republican side. And not no disrespect, I'm laughing, but it's just, to me, he's a funny man. She asked him for a headline, and he just basically talk about his red beret, that's his organization. If you guys are not familiar with Mr. Curtis, that's his organization. The Red Beret is an organization. It's a group of people that they go into high crime, high violence area throughout New York State, which Mr. Curtis is the one that actually originated that idea. He's the one that's the CEO of that organization. So that's why he said, I'm not in my red beret hat, because every member of his organization has to wear a red beret, red jacket when they go out to those communities, so people know who they are. Which once again is a great organization. I think it's a very, very good thing that he has been doing, and he has been doing this for years. But he's running on the Republican side, and Mr. Governor Cuomo is running as an independent, and the third candidate, Mr. Zoran, he's running as under the Democrat Party. So let's keep listening to this gentleman battle it out.
And looks very mayoral tonight.
Mr. Mondani, you've had some time to think about it now. What's your headline?
It's a pleasure to be here, first of all, and I really want to thank the moderators and the opportunity to speak directly to New Yorkers about this moment in time and our opportunity to transform the most expensive city in the United States of America. The headline would read, in about a year, Mamdani continues to take on Trump, delivers on affordability agenda for New Yorkers.
Thank you, Mr. Mondani. Sally?
Thank you, Melissa. We're going to talk about leadership.
That's the only thing I don't really understand about this guy. Every time he get a chance to put our president's name in his mouth, he does. Like every time this guy talk to the media, to whomever, he constantly mention our great president, Mr. Donald J. Trump, who is doing an amazing job, who is an amazing president, who is solving a lot of our problems within the United States, who is solving the world problems. All of the violence all around the world, Mr. Donald J. Trump has been solving. And this guy, this Zorando, whatever is his name, he always find ways to bring up our president. You're running against Mr. Andrew Cuomo and Mr. Curtis, and you're bringing up the president. The president is not there. Every chance this guy gets, he always mention Mr. President Trump. You're not running against Mr. President Trump. He's the president. He's the most powerful man in the United States. So there is no way you're not running against him. You're not even in his category. I would suggest you stop mentioning Mr. Trump's name so often. Every chance this guy get, like, to me, it's like, what is wrong with this guy? You're not running against Mr. Trump. You're not running for president. You don't have you're not at that level as yet. Concentrate on Mr. Andrew Cuomo and Mr. Curtis. That's where you're at right now. Every chance you get, dude. Like, I don't understand this dude, bro. Insane, bro.
Voters have reservations about all three of you as chief executive of New York City, a city with roughly 300,000 employees and a budget bigger than many countries. We have questions for each of you, and Mr. Cuomo, we will begin with you. As a former governor of New York, you obviously have the management experience, but you resigned from office amid sexual harassment and COVID-related scandals. Why should voters now trust that you have the character to be mayor? You have 1 minute.
Good. Well, thank you very much, and thank you for the question. First, you are right. I left office. There was a report that was done that had allegations of harassment. I said at the time it was a political report, and that there was no basis to it. It was then sent to 5 district attorneys. They all reviewed it. They found nothing. It was then litigated for 5 years. I was dropped from the cases. So none of that came to anything. When it comes to executive experience, I've run the Department of Housing and Urban Development, built housing all across the nation. I was governor for 11 years. The budget is double what it is in New York City, and I got government to work. I passed groundbreaking laws, minimum wage, paid family leave, built projects that had never been built before. This is no job for on-the-job training. And if you look at the failed mayors, they're ones that have no management experience. Don't do it again.
Thank you. Ms. Serena?
Thank you, Sally. In the theme of leadership, Mr. Mandani, you work as a foreclosure prevention counselor for winning seat in the state assembly. You have no substantial management experience. How are you ready to lead the nation's largest and greatest city in the world in one day? You have a minute.
You know, I have the experience of having served in the New York State Assembly for 5 years and watching a broken political system, the experience of seeing a governor in Andrew Cuomo who would rather have served his billionaire donors and the working class New Yorkers who voted for him, and the experience amidst all of that of fighting and winning for working class taxi drivers to free them from predatory debt, and delivering the first free bus lines in New York City history, and in working with unions and working class New Yorkers to finally raise taxes just that little bit on Mr. Cuomo's donors to start to fully fund our public school. And more than that, I have the experience of being a New Yorker, someone who has actually paid rent in the city before I ran for mayor, someone who has had to wait for a bus that never came, someone who actually buys his groceries in this same city. And what all of that experience has shown me, which Mr. Cuomo can't seem to understand.
I think Mr. Andrew Cuomo was a great governor. I think, honestly, I'm not into politics, but I think Mr. Andrew Cuomo was a very, very tremendous mayor, and he did a lot for New York State. And yes, he resigned on the pressure of what was going on with that case. But at the beginning, when that case was filed, he came out and made a statement saying this was strictly political. They was trying to get him out of office. And politics is crazy. That's what I always say. Politics is crazy, so that's why I never really got involved in. I don't really get involved in politics, because if they don't like you and they want you out, they will just bring up stories. They will create stories around you as an individual. They will create stories that something, maybe someone in your circle might come out and say something, or the way a lot of the time someone in your circle may get paid to just come out and make a false claim against you out of nowhere, to make a false claim against you to basically bring you down. So Mr. Cuomo came out and he said, listen, all of this is just political. It's political. None of this stuff is true. None of the women who was reportedly saying that Mr. Cuomo did anything inappropriate to them, Mr. Cuomo came out and denied it immediately. And all of this transpired in a court of law. And he was found not guilty. He was found, all of this stuff was dismissed. So at the end of the day, I think Mr. Cuomo, for all of the 11 years that he served doing what's right for New York State, and what they have done to him to try to disrespect and bring him down, bring who he truly is as a human being destroy his legacy, I think all of those things was uncalled for. You know, if anybody in this entire group of people that will do something and continue to do what's right for New York State, Mr. Andrew Cuomo would, to me, will be the ideal person to put in office because he has the experience. He has done a lot to better New York State. You know, Mr. Cuomo have done a lot for the better of the people of New York State. When COVID happened, yes, there was once again giving Mr. Governor Cuomo a hard time, but COVID came around and everybody was doing the best they can to resolve the problem. But it was not a problem to resolve because it just happened. Everything was perfectly fine. Everything was going the way it was supposed to be going. And all of a sudden, people started getting sick. People started dying. This just started happening rapidly. So as a governor, he was trying to play catch up. So everybody back then it was the elderly people was passing away in the senior citizen facilities, and you have to understand, dude, at that point the governor was under a lot of pressure with a lot of different things. You know, unfortunately, a couple of elderly people passed away, and once again, unfortunately, I love the elderly people. I think their elderly people are great. Elderly people deserve to be living forever and ever, God willing. You know, but I don't think we should hold that against Andrew Cuomo. I really don't think that as New Yorkers we should hold that against Mr. Cuomo, what happened to the elderly people in those homes, and try to basically bring him down. Somebody as such as Mr. Andrew Cuomo, who did so much. You know, people always go back and look at the negatives and the little mess up people do make, and people don't really look at the things that people have done that was way more better, was way better for the people of New York City, of New York State in general, of New York State. Mr. Cuomo did way more good for the people of New York State than bad. So I think people need to open their eyes and realize, like, listen, we're going to judge this man. Let's judge him on his character. Let's judge him on the things that he have done. And let's balance it. Let's balance the good and the bad. And like, where is the balance? It's not an even balance. There is no way you could say, Mr. Governor Cuomo, the things that he have done good and the things he have done bad is even. Absolutely not. The things that Mr. Governor Cuomo have done good exceed the things that he ever done bad for all those years he been in office. You know, so Mr. Mandumbi, whatever is this dude's name, once again, no disrespect, I just cannot pronounce it. Zoran, I'm gonna just call him Zoran. So Zoran, yes, he has good talk. He's talk. He has a politician talk. He talks like a politician. But a lot of things this guy is trying to accomplish, to me, is like, you want to give everybody everything for free. Life is not supposed to be like that. You're just convincing people to be more and more lazy. I hope President Trump get rid of the welfare system, because to a mayor like Zoran, he just wants to put people to get free at the end of the day at the expense of people who actually get up and go to work. There is so many young people nowadays that think that it's a good idea to have kids at a young age, go into a shelter, get a free apartment, get free food for the kid or for the kids, take the money that the state gives them every month to support the kid, and take it and use it on their own lifestyle, on drugs, on clothes, on cars, and all of that nonsense. And a mayor as Zoran, he's going to contribute to that type of mentality of people who like being lazy. That's the only thing I could think about when I heard about the Zoran guy. I'm like, this guy is just promoting ways for people to be more lazy in this world. It's already enough for that. I'm just waiting for Mr. Trump to be like, listen, all this food stamp and all of this stuff, all of this benefit, cut it off. Or give it to the elderly people, or give it to the people that deserve it. Give it to the people that has health problems. Give it to the people that actually cannot go to work. But not no 20-year-old person because they want to go and have 2 kids at 20, at 18, 20 years old, and all of a sudden they want everything for free. So when I think, and I want people to honestly open their eyes to the reality of that. Like, I work every day, dude. Like, this is, to me, like, what? This whole free stuff is ridiculous. And that's where Zoran, to me, it's outrageous. Like, the things that he's talking about, free this, free that, free. Like, who is going to pay for it? People like me who wants to get up and go to work every day for some 20-year-old girl with 2 kids to sit in an apartment for free, and then the money goes to her for the kid every month, and she's doing drugs and alcohol and partying. Bro, you crazy, man. Like, that's the only thing I don't like about Zoran. His whole mentality about free. Give everything for free. Bus ride. This. Get out of here, bro. Life and free, dude.
It is far too expensive
Thank you,
and
Mr.
far
Montano.
too hard for New Yorkers to afford to live in this city. And the definition of experience is not doing the same thing again and again and hoping for a different result. That's actually the definition of
Thank
insanity.
you, Mr. Manzani.
If I can, I think I was involved.
Yes.
In other words, what the Assemblyman said is he has no experience. And this is not a job for someone who has no management experience to run 300,000 people, no financial experience to run $115 billion budget. He literally has never had a job. On his resume, it says he interned for his mother. This is not a job for a first-timer. Any day, you could have a hurricane, you could, God forbid, a 9/11, a health pandemic. If you don't know
Thank
what
you,
you're
Mr.
doing,
Cuomo.
people
We have to
will
move on.
die.
Mr. Mamdani,
Yeah.
want to respond?
And if we have a health pandemic, then why would New Yorkers turn back to the governor who sent seniors to their death in nursing homes? That's the kind of experience that's on offer here today. What I don't have in experience, I make up for in integrity, and what you don't have in integrity, you could never make up for in experience.
Yeah. First, what you said was totally false, as you know.
Which part was false?
During COVID, everyone did whatever they could in this state. And there have been numerous investigations.
100%. He's trying to bring up the fact of the pandemic. Once again, I said that to you guys earlier. He's going to try to bring stuff like that up. But once again, at that point in time in New York State, the pandemic, the governor had so much things to get to. So many things was going on at the same time. I think Mr. Cuomo was doing the best he can. And in life, ladies and gentlemen, you have the most you could do is the best you can in life. You can't exceed the best of your abilities. You can't. Everything you do in your life, ladies and gentlemen, do it at the best. Everything that you do. Don't half-ass nothing. Don't. Anything that you decide to do it at the best of your abilities. Yes, you're going to make mistakes. We all do. We are not perfect. All and every of God's kids, all and every of God's creation on this earth, on this planet, we're not perfect people. You will never find a perfect human being. You will never find a perfect animal. That's just how it's designed. But if you do the best you can in every situation that comes to your direction, every situation that comes to in front of you, you do the best you can. That's all you could ask for in life. So he's going to try to bring the pandemic up. Governor Cuomo, Mr. Andrew Cuomo did so much good for the state of New York. Like this Zoran guy, he's bringing up negative things. Yes, of course, he's a politician. He's going to bring up the worst of whatever he could see of the opponents. You will never bring up the good, but the people of New York State should really open their eyes and realize that Mr. Andrew Cuomo did so much good things for the benefit of the people of New York State. And when they go out and vote in November, that's what they should be thinking about. You know, I don't care I'm not saying who to vote for. I'm just saying when you go out and vote in November, you should really think about the people that's going to actually, that been doing good for the people of New York State and going to continue doing good. Because everybody learned from things in life. What Mr. Andrew Cuomo went through with all of those harassment charges with those women, and he was found not guilty. All of those things was dismissed. So you can't hold that against him. This was all politically done, you know, to get him out of office. But all of this stuff at the end of the day was vindicated that he was not found guilty of nothing. So you have to think about the good that this man have done for the 11 years that he spent in office. He done a lot of things that was good. He done a lot of good. Once again, we're not perfect. So you can't expect for 11 years Mr. Cuomo to always be 100% accurate, 100% good in everything. We're going to make mistakes. No matter how much of a professional we might be, no matter how much of a good person we might be, once in a while we still messes up. We'll still trip once in a while. We'll still fall once in a while. You know, so you can't really hold that against people when they actually did 100,000 things good and 50 things bad. Focus on the 100,000 good things that they have done. And I'm not saying let go the 50 things that they have done bad. No, you don't. If you're one of those people, you don't have to let it go. But don't concentrate more of the things that was done good for the better of you and your family. That's all I'm trying to say. In this situation right here, that's what you do. In November, when you go to vote, think about what was done good.
We follow federal guidance, but yes, people died during COVID, and my heart breaks for everyone that died in this state and across this nation.
But just to be clear, Mr., just to fact check that, there is a criminal investigation reportedly underway at the DOJ about your testimony to Congress about your nursing home record.
Yeah, but that is a political issue with the Congress. They made a referral, which is gone absolutely nowhere. But there have been multiple investigations where the DOJ found that the nursing home investigation was politically motivated.
Okay, we're going to move on. We might have time to come back to it. I do need to move on to Mr.
May I just finish my rebuttal? But the Assemblyman still says he has no experience to do the job.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Cuomo. Mr. Sliwa, as founder of the Guardian Angels and as a radio host, you've been a well-known figure in New York City for decades. But you also lack substantial management experience. So how are you prepared to be the chief executive officer of New York City? You have 1 minute, Mr. Sliwa.
First of all, I created the Guardian Angels to provide public safety in the subways and streets when government was incapable of doing so. I didn't do it to get a title or a paycheck. Secondarily, I don't declare myself to be all-knowing. I will hire the very brightest and best in their fields who have dedicated their...
And once again, I give the utmost respect, tip the hat to Mr. Curtis, because actually his organization, as I said from the beginning, I'm going to continue saying it, I don't know a lot about Mr. Curtis. All I know that he has a radio show that he's, they call him a disc jockey, like a radio host. I know he has been a radio host for years. That's basically all I know him. And I know his organization, the organization that he created. And for years, I always thought it was a really, really good organization because, once again, he goes out to places like when the subways is unsafe. If there is not enough law enforcement in the subway system, he will deploy people in his group, in his organization to go to different subway stations to patrol the areas to make sure everything is good. He will deploy people in neighborhoods, not just in the subway, in the neighborhoods, in bad neighborhoods where there's a lot of violence. His organization will go into those neighborhoods. So for years, I always say, like, this man's organization, the thing that he has done for years, my hat tips off to Mr. Curtis, and God bless him, and I hope and wish him all the best in this situation as well as everybody else.
Alive to trying to improve the city of New York or the state or the federal government or the private sector. But what I will say is, thank God I'm not a professional politician. We have the architect and we have the apprentice of no cash bail, which has been a disaster. We have the architect and the apprentice here of Raise the Age. My own son was almost killed because of that in a gang attack. We have the architect and we have the apprentice of Close Rikers Island, which would just release criminals in the street. Thank God I'm not a professional politician because they have helped create this crime crisis in the city that we face, and I will
Thank you, Mr. Sliwa.
Thank you. Mr. Sliwa, candidates, President Trump has expressed intense interest in this election and in all of you personally. Mr. Mamdani, the president called you, quote, my little communist. Mr. Sliwa, he said you're, quote, not exactly prime time. Mr. Cuomo, he has been critical of you, but said you have always gotten along. The president has threatened to cut federal funds to the city. Just yesterday, he killed the Gateway Project, the tunnel connecting New York to New Jersey. You've all promised to resist him in some way. What would you say in your first official call with the president to set the tone for your relationship moving forward? We'll give you a minute for this. We'll start with you, Mr. Mamdani.
I would make it clear to the president that I am willing to not only speak to him, but to work with him if it means delivering on lowering the cost of living for New Yorkers. That's something that he ran his presidential campaign on, and yet all he's been able to deliver thus far has been prosecuting his political enemies and trying to enact the largest deportation program in American history. And what distinguishes me from Andrew Cuomo is the fact that he has gotten on the phone with that same president, not asking him how to work together to help New Yorkers, or not telling him that he would refuse to back down to protect those New Yorkers, but instead asking him how to win this race. That's something I can do myself. I don't need the president's assistance for. And what I tell the president is if he ever wants to come for New Yorkers in the way that he has been, he's going to have to get through me as the next mayor of this city.
All right, Mr. Cuomo, we'll give you a little extra time, but I'd like you to answer this question as well. What your first conversation with the president was like?
Okay.
The thing about Zoran, there is no working with the president because every chance you get, you try your best to be disrespectful to the president. So there is no working with someone like you. Your tone when you speak in regards to our great president is terrible. The things that comes out your mouth when you speak about our great president is disrespectful. How do you expect New Yorkers to get federal funding when you have no respect for the leader of the country? How? So people have to think about this type of things in come November. This guy want to give everything for free, but yet want to be disrespectful to the commander-in-chief, want to be disrespectful to the president. You have to think about it. This is not a type of guy that's willing to have negotiation in a way of peace. He's the type of guy that's trying to create chaos with the federal government, with the chief and our commander-in-chief of the United States. He's trying to create some form of chaos with our president, and yet he's thinking about, okay, we're going to get along, we're going to talk. No, there's your whole tone whenever you mention our president, our great president, by that, is very disrespectful. So how are you think that you are going to work with our president for the better of the people of New York State? Your tone has to change. You think everything, this guy Zoran thinks everybody should get everything for free. He thinks everything should be given for free for everybody. Instead of him trying to tell people, get up and work, especially these young, lazy people. These young people with nothing to do. That's why the crime in New York State is so high, because these young people has nothing to do. They don't want to work. They don't want to go to school. They don't want to do nothing. And now you have a candidate to be a mayor, Zoran, who wants to come into office and said, okay, I want to give everything for free. What sense does that make? You live in a city where the crime rate, the violence is ridiculous. And the majority of the violence is from young people. And the reason why young people is committing so much violence is because they don't have nothing to do. They don't want to work. They don't want to go to school. They don't listen to their parents. They don't do nothing. But yet you want to come in and take office and give everything for free. Give them everything for free. Give their family everything for free. How is that going to work as a mayor? Life is not free, dude. You have to get up and earn your way through life. You have to get up and put things in perspective to gain and accomplish things that you need in life. It's not free. This guy's trying to give everything for free. Free. Who's going to pay for it? Who's going to pay for it? People like me who works all the time? The hard-working men and women of New York State is going to be left the bill to flip the bill for everybody that he wants to give everything for free. So just have kids, live in the projects, free apartments, free welfare, free money, free. Because Zoran thinks that's the best way to live life. Oh, you crazy, bro. And none for free. I got to work 2 jobs. I got to work every day. People got to work, bro.
The assembly was talking about. But he has a distant relationship with the truth. I would say to the president in the first conversation, look, we have had many, many battles. We fought together every day during COVID. And the battles were bloody. And I'd like to avoid them. You know, if you come after New York, you know what I'm gonna do. You know it's going to be ugly. And you know, my chances are almost 50-50, even though you're the president. I'd like to work with you. I think we can do good things together, but number one, I will fight you every step of the way if you try to hurt New York.
Unless he weaponizes the justice system to go after the Attorney General of this state, in which case you'll issue a statement that doesn't even name the president. And no matter what you think about Donald Trump, you know that not even being able to name him is an act of cowardice. And that's what we would see from Donald Trump's puppet on the right.
I do want to get Ms. Sliwa, but Mr. Cuomo, I'll give you a few seconds to respond.
Yeah, I said political weaponization of the justice system is wrong. Both sides do it. It's wrong when Donald Trump does it. It's wrong when they did it to Comey. It's wrong when Comey...
That's my point. You see how this guy Tone Zoran, when he speaks in regards to the president, he has a very aggressive tone when he speaks in regards to the president. How you expect to get things done, to accomplish what's good for New York, for the people of New York State, for the people of New York City, when you have that type of tone with the commander-in-chief, with the president of the United States? You need the president of the United States to accomplish a lot of things for New York City. You need the president. You need the president's signature on a lot of things that we need in New York. So how are you going to have that? You see his tone, just the tone when he talks. He has a lot of anger in regards to the president. Like, I'm like, why are you so angry at the president? How are you going to work with the commander-in-chief if that's the type of anger you have within you? And I don't think that's going to stop. If this man actually become a mayor, I don't think this type of rhetoric that he's speaking on a daily basis in regards to the president is ever going to stop. How you expect things to go forward? You think about it. How you expect all the projects that New York City has on the table right now, how you expect it to go forward with this guy as a mayor, with the type of animosity and anger he has towards the president? You guys got to think about this. The people who goes to get up and go and vote in November, you have to think about all of those things. Moving forward towards a future, a brighter future for New York City, you need the president's signature to accomplish a lot of things that need to be done in New York City. Think about those things, because without the president's signature, guess what? A lot of things are not going to change. It's just going to get worse. Simply, dude.
Hillary was wrong when it happened to James.
Thank you, Mr. Cuomo. I want to give Mr. Sliwa a chance to answer this. Mr. Sliwa, your first official conversation with the president, what would you say to set the tone?
Well, first of all, there's high levels of testosterone in this room. I've had a love-hate relationship with Donald Trump that goes back over 30 years. But I know one thing. We have Andrew Cuomo, we have John Mondami. They want to take on Donald Trump. Look, you can be tough, but you can't be tough if it's going to cost people desperately needed federal funds. John Mondami, the president, has already said he's going to take $7 billion out of the budget right from the start if you're elected mayor. People are going to suffer in this city. People who need those federal funds. What I would do is sit and negotiate. I would say, look, Mr. President, we need that Gateway Tunnel. It moves millions of people from Washington, D.C. to Boston. But take away the Q train project. We don't need those 3 stations going from 96th Street to 125th. It's not a necessity. Sit with the president and whoever he delegates and try to negotiate. But if you try to get tough with Trump, the only people who are going to suffer from that are the people of New York City.
Okay, Mr. Sliwa, thank you. Brief response, Mr. Mamdani.
You know, Mr.
100%. That's exactly why I said that earlier. This Zoran guy, his whole stand and being disrespectful and wanting to be the tough guy, is not going to affect him. Because if you know about this guy background, that Zoran guy, he comes from a wealthy family background. So it's not going to affect him in no way, shape, or form. He's talking about, oh, I take the bus, I take the train, I pay apartment. Dude, you grew up wealthy. You grew up fortunate. His mother, this guy's family is very, very fortunate, and God bless him. You know, they earn what they have. I'm not saying nothing bad about their wealth, but he's here talking about, oh, I take the bus, I take the train, I live in an apartment. So You grew up fortunate, dude. You grew up, you have acres of land in the country from where your families came from. You have $1 million things in where your family came from. You don't have it in America, but you have it in other countries. You're talking about investing in the United States. You're in the United States. You're a United States citizen. But yet, this guy is taking a lot of his money and invest it in other countries. Yeah, you could probably say, okay, that's where his families came from. That's where he was born. So he's making investments in that country. But you in America, you're an American citizen. Make the investment here first. Give people opportunity here first. Give people jobs here first. You're taking all the money that you're making from here and invest into another country. And he has the audacity to talk about, oh yes, I take the bus. He don't have a car. So he's trying to make people see that, oh, dude, you don't have a car because you're a politician. He already had all of these things planned. Oh, let me show people I'm a simple person. I don't have a car. I take the bus. I take the train. All of this stuff was already thought about years ago. This is years in the making. This is Iran guy. Years in the making to make people have that sympathy. Like, oh, this guy is such a regular guy. You know, he takes the bus. He takes the train. He lives in an apartment building. Yes, dude. You live in an apartment in the United States, yes. But in the country where you was born, you're a millionaire. You have acres upon acres of land that you use with the money you make in America. The money you and your family makes in America, you take it back to your country and you're living like a king over there. But you have the audacity, and this guy has balls. He has the audacity to try to bring that emotional side out of people to make people think like, oh my God, this guy's he's so down to earth. He don't have a car. He don't have a car because he chooses to not have a car. Just to get the sympathy from people to elect him as a mayor. Elect him because this is years in the making, this Iran guy. You look at this guy's whole life and he's a real politician, this guy. I'm telling you, he's a real politician. All of this, oh, I don't have a car, I take the bus, the train. Dude, you grew up very fortunate, and God bless you and God bless your family. But you grew up fortunate. If you want a car, you'll have the best car. If you want a house in New York, you will have the best house. So stop it. It's not about money for this guy. He was brought up with that. You know, so all of the sympathy he's looking to get from people, the only reason this guy has the popularity that he has right now is because of all of the free shit that he's telling people he's going to give to them. Freeze rent, freeze this, freeze that. So how you expect the landlords to make money? Like, dude, you're trying to get people to live for free everywhere. You're trying to get people to get free food stamp, free food, free bus, free this, free. How you expect, who's paying for all this free stuff? And then you won't have the balls to be disrespectful to our great president. You have the audacity to talk bad about the president. How you expect anything to get accomplished when you want to help the people of New York City? How is it? This guy don't care. He has money. He could go back to his country and he lives like a king. He don't have to be a politician. He could always make money from his family, from the investment that he have. So you guys do whatever you want in New York State. You go with whoever you think is best. But I'm just saying, think about your vote before you go to the poll in November. This Zoran guy, he came from wealth. His whole family, they got it. This whole political thing that he's doing right now been in the making for years. He's trying to get people sympathy. He's trying to get sympathy votes. He's trying to get people on his side to give that people. I'm going to give everything for free. He knows how this politics work. You know, let me offer people everything and they're going to vote for me. Get the hell out of here, dude.
Suspending infrastructure grants to this city, and he's doing it in a blatant act of political retribution. And what it requires is leadership that will stand up to him. And I disagree with Mr. Sliwa. We do need to extend the 2nd Avenue subway to 125th Street. It was a promise made to Harlemites decades ago. Okay. It's time to actually fulfill it.
Thank you, Mr. Mundani.
Okay, quick question for each of you. Mr. Cuomo, you've been asked this
He
before.
mentioned my name. Will I get a chance to respond?
Well, we got a lot of ground to cover. So
When
Can I
was the
respond?
last time you spoke with President Trump, Mr. Cuomo? You've been asked this before, and the last time you said you couldn't remember.
I believe it was during his assassination attempt.
So last year in 2024. Mr. Sliwa, when was the last time you spoke with President Trump?
Oh, many years ago, we were receiving awards. I was praising him for saving the annual Veterans Day Parade. Those were the conversations that I had with him. Can I please respond? I was asked about the Q train.
Okay, real
Mr.
quick.
Mamdani?
I am the mayor of mass transit. We do not need a Q train. I'm in the subways every day. We have more than a capable system of transporting
Okay, thank
people.
you, Mr. Sliwa.
The infrastructure needs
Okay,
to be
thank you,
fixed
Mr.
in the
Sliwa.
system that we have.
Thank you.
Mr. Mamdani, have you ever spoken with President Trump?
No.
Okay, there you go. Sally?
Thank you. Mr. Cuomo, a follow-up to that. President Trump has spoken positively about you and your candidacy, even as his Justice Department, as we've noted, is reportedly investigating you for allegations you lied to Congress over your COVID record. Given that dynamic, how would you be able to stand up to this White House? How are you not compromised? And just take into account that New Yorkers are troubled by what they view as a compromised relationship the current outgoing mayor has with the president.
Yeah, first, you're wrong when you say there's any investigation of me. That's not true.
Do you have evidence there is no
I've heard
investigation?
absolutely nothing. Congress did a press release. They said they sent a letter to the Department of Justice, which they do routinely to generate press, and that's what that is. I fought Donald Trump. He investigated me repeatedly with the Department of Justice. The Department of Justice Inspector General said that it was actually politically motivated. That does not back me up. When I'm fighting for New York, I am not going to stop. And I'll tell you something else. If the Assemblyman is elected mayor, Donald Trump will take over New York City, and it will be Mayor Trump who runs New York City.
We have to move on. Just a very quick follow-up, yes or no. You're saying unequivocally the Justice Department is not investigating you, correct?
100%. Mr. Cuomo is right. Mr. Cuomo is right. Dude, listen, at the end of the day, his relationship with our great president, Mr. Donald J. Trump, is probably not 100% the way it's supposed to be, but it's a mutual respect between those two gentlemen. Mr. Cuomo and Mr. Trump has a mutual respect, regardless of the differences in politics. They have a mutual respect for each other. You need that. You need that going forward. You know, you need that type of relationship going forward, because you have to know, if Zoran goes into Tracy Mansion, become the mayor, this man, every time he speaks in regards to the president, he's very negative. He has nothing good to say, and he thinks being bashful and disrespectful to the president is going to actually get him into Gracie Mansion. But regardless, if he get into Gracie Mansion by being disrespectful to the president, what good is that going to be for the people of New York? That's my stance. For the people of New York, if this man gets elected, what's good is that going to do for the people of New York, when he have no choice but to go and communicate with the president to get things done for the people of New York? Once again, you have to realize Zoran came from a very fortunate background. So all of that, I live in an apartment, I take the train, I take the bus, I don't have a car. All of this stuff is to gather our people's sympathy. To look at him like he's an average guy. Oh, this guy's average, let me vote for him. No, that's all sympathy vote he's looking for. The second half to his whole stuff is looking for the people that love free stuff. There is hundreds of thousands of people that love free stuff. These people are having kids at a younger and younger age, and they just think that going on welfare, getting a free apartment, getting assistance from the government, and don't do nothing. You're 20 years old and you have all the strength in the world, but yet you go into different businesses and you see someone that's in the 70s working, when there's this 20-year-old person are sitting home doing drugs, drinking alcohol, does nothing, but yet every month they get money for them and the kids. But yet you got to think about Zoran. He's trying to make this way bigger than it already is. It's already a crisis with young people having kids at a young age and they want everything for free. Now you have this guy trying to be a mayor, And he wants to put, that's like the icing on the cake. Yes, I got you. Everything is for free. Let's free rent. Let's give free bus. Let's give free this, free that. And who's going to pay for it? If you don't have a respectful relationship with the president, if you don't have a mutual respect relationship with the president that have to sign off to get everything federal that you need for your state, who is going to pay for everything then? The people of New York need to really think about this stuff before they go to the poll, before they go vote in November. They have to think about these things. Because you have a man in Zoran that's constantly, every chance he get, he's disrespectful to the president. He's talking down to the president. I'm not saying this is about kissing ass. I'm just saying you have to have some form of mutual respect to get things done. You don't have to like me, but we have to have some type of mutual respect for each other to get things done together. At the end of the day, after we get it done, you could go about your day. I don't care. But if there is just all hate, like Zoran, that's all he have towards President Trump is all hate and negativity. So how you ever expect for a mutual relationship based on respect between that Zoran guy and Mr. Donald J. Trump? I don't see that happening. That's my whole point about why they have to be careful when they go vote, dude.
They could be, and you might not have heard it, but okay, we'll move on. David?
Okay, thanks, Sally.
They're virtually impossible, by the way.
Okay.
So, Mr. Fuller, you did put out an ad the day after the news first broke in the New York Times that you were under investigation, calling it a political investigation, saying they were coming after you as they had to, after other Democratic politicians. You haven't denied this
That the
previously.
Republican Congress was. Yes, I believe they play politics with the justice system.
Okay.
I believe the Republican Congress does it. I believe Donald Trump does it. I believe the Democrats do it. And that's why I think people are sick and tired of the justice system and the politics.
If you think that there's no difference between the Democratic Party and the Republican Party, then that's the candidate for you. If you think it's time to have a Democratic Party that actually stands up to Donald Trump and his billionaire-backed assault on working people,
Well,
Thank you,
that's
Mr.
the
Mamdani.
You're
Candidates, we
you're
have to.
not a Democrat, right?
Candidates, we
You're
have-
not a Democrat. You're a Democratic
All right,
socialist.
candidates, we have
You didn't
other
vote for
rounds.
Kamala Harris, right?
We have underground cover. No, we have underground cover.
that's an incendiary charge. I want to be very.
You may have a chance to address it, but we do.
I'll be
we have
very
a lot
quick.
of issues to get to with New Yorkers, Mr. Mamdani.
I'll be very quick.
I mean,
You didn't say leave it blank in the Kamala
I'll be very
campaign?
quick. I said leave it blank in the presidential primary because primaries are a place to air dissent. And like
Okay.
many Americans, I was horrified by
Okay,
the
Mr.
Israeli
Mamdani,
genocide of
all right.
Palestinians.
Okay.
And if you want to look for me on the ballot, you'll find me as the
Okay,
Democrat.
Mr. Mamdani, thank you. Gentlemen, we have to move on. This week, the world is reacting to President Trump's Israel-Hamas peace deal and the release of the hostages. And many are cautiously optimistic about a lasting peace. Of course, the mayor has no direct role in foreign affairs, and we certainly have a lot of questions for you about city matters. But this war has been a major topic in the campaign, and there are criticisms about your positions in the past and how you envision leading on these issues as mayor. So we have questions for all of you, but first for Mr. Mamdani, because of something you said that's been generating headlines in the news today as we come into the debate yesterday on Fox News. You were asked if Hamas should lay down its weapons, key to the peace plan and ceasefire. And some say they found your answer confusing. You said, quote, I don't really have opinions about the future of Hamas in Israel beyond the question of justice and safety and the fact that anything has to abide by international law. And that applies to Hamas, and that applies to the Israeli military. So for the voters tuning in tonight, Mr. Mamdani, what do you believe about Hamas and how lasting peace will be achieved? We know it's a complicated matter, but we'd like you to keep your answer to a minute if you could.
Of course, I believe that they should lay down their arms. I'm proud to be one of the first elected officials in the state who called for a ceasefire. And calling for a ceasefire means seizing fire. That means all parties have to cease fire and put down their weapons. And the reason that we call for that is not only for the end of the genocide, but also an unimpeded access of humanitarian aid. I, like many New Yorkers, am hopeful that this ceasefire will hold. I'm hopeful that it is durable. I'm hopeful that it is just. And for it to be just, we also have to ensure that it addresses the conditions that preceded this. Conditions like occupation, like the siege, and apartheid. And that is what I'm hopeful for.
Yeah. If I may, that means from the river to the sea.
I'm being barging up.
You got to realize, he said all of these things basically saying that Israel, for all of those, years leading up to this violence was doing too much to Gaza by taking this, taking that. He never once in his statement that he just made said anything positive towards our great president, Mr. Donald J. Trump, who actually was the president that resolved this entire issue. Mr. Trump's willingness to bring peace throughout the world, it's the reason this took place. And this Zoran guy, not even 1 second he took to say something respectful to our great president, Mr. Donald J. Trump. He skipped around all of this other nonsense about how Israel is taking this and all of the nonsense he's talking about, yet not one time he said to the actual person, which is Mr. Donald J. Trump, who was pushing for peace in that part of the world and other parts of the world from since he took office. Not one time he took to praise and say something kind to our great president, Mr. Donald J. Trump. You just see the type of hate and the type of disrespect this man have towards our president. If it wasn't for Mr. President and his administration, the deal that happened would have never took place. Yes, there was other foreign governors, other foreign people, other foreign elective people that was involved as well. There was a lot of people from the Middle East, a lot of countries in the Middle East that was also a part of this agreement. But it all started with Mr. President Trump and his administration pushing forward to going out and reaching out to these people to get their feedback. Mr. Trump didn't want to do this selfishly, just America doing it. No, he went out to all the leaders of those Middle Eastern countries to get all the feedback and what can we do together to bring peace. This man, not even this Zoran guy, not even one time, he had the opportunity right there to be like, you know what, I have to say to Mr. President Trump and his administration, thank you. God bless Mr. President Trump and his, no, not one time. I'm just trying to show you the hatred and the animosity this guy have towards our president, and how the people of New York expect going forward in New York City for the people to actually have everything that they need from the federal government. You need the federal government to assist in a lot of things financially to accomplish your goals. So just this guy whole tone, to me, is just like, why would you even put this guy in office? He's just whole thing about giving free shit to people. Bro, you're bugging. People who have to get up and work every day, they don't want to hear that free nonsense, bro. These people need to go to work, dude. Earn their way through life like everybody else is doing, bro.
It's a debate of three. Excuse me, it's a debate of three. Do we acknowledge that? Three people?
Mr. Sliver, go ahead, and we'll give you a second. Go ahead, Mr. Sliver.
The President of the United States should have been applauded by you, Zoran Mandami, and you, Andrew Cuomo, on the day that he brought together that international coalition that met in Egypt, that came from the middle.
100%. 100 trillion%. The president should be applauded. And Zoran had that opportunity because he was asked that question. What do he think about the peace deal that was made? Not even 1 second he took to applaud or to praise the actual person that was the actual person that accomplished this entire thing of ceasefire, which was Mr. Donald J. Trump. If it wasn't for Mr. President Trump and his administration, this would have never came towards the way it is right now. And this Zoran guy, he didn't take the time out to congratulate the President of the United States, Mr. Donald J. Trump. You just see the type of person this guy is, dude. New York people, November, come election, think about your vote, man, because you don't want someone like that to run the city, bro.
I certainly applauded him for bringing peace to Gaza and trying to end the hostilities in the war between the Israelis and Hamas, so there can be peace between the Israelis and peace between the Palestinians. But you seem, Zoran, to be incapable of praising our president.
Okay.
And Angela, you were incapable of
Now,
praising
gentlemen,
our
gentlemen, we have
president. Give credit where credit is due. He's brought peace to Gaza.
Yeah, gentlemen, we want to hear everything you have to say. We have other questions on the matter. Mr. Cuomo, please, brief response, because we do have other questions on this issue that you may be able to address. Go ahead.
I did applaud President Trump and his administration. I think it was a great accomplishment. I hope the peace holds. The Assemblyman will not denounce Hamas. The Assemblyman will not denounce Hassan Piker, who said America deserved 9/11. The Assemblyman just said in his response, well, it depends on occupation. That is code, meaning that Israel does not have a right to exist as a Jewish state, which he has never acknowledged. That is from the river to the sea. That's why he won't denounce globalize the Intifada, which means kill all Jews.
Let's give Mr. Mamdani a chance to respond to that.
I want to be very clear. The occupation is a reference to international law and the violation of it, which Mr. Cuomo has no regard for since he signed up to be Benjamin Netanyahu's legal defense team during the course of this genocide. And I find the comments that Hassan made on 9/11 to be objectionable and reprehensible. And I also think that part of the reason why Democrats are in the situation that we are in, of being a permanent minority in this country, is we are looking only to speak to journalists and streamers and Americans with whom we agree of every single thing that they say. We need to take the case to every person, and I'm happy to do that, which is why I was on Fox News yesterday talking about how I wish it was more like NASCAR, so we could see all the billionaires who are sponsoring you right on your suit jacket.
Melissa has another.
We're going to turn it to Sally, actually.
Yeah, actually, this kind of flows, and then we'll go back to Melissa. Mr. Mamdani, you told NBC's Meet the Press that you don't believe it's the role of the mayor to police speech. Your words about this war have comforted many New Yorkers, but they've troubled others, and I want to ask about some of this. There is your recent refusal, as we just discussed, to condemn the slogan, globalize the Intifada, which many view as a call to arms. In 2017, you rapped lyrics praising the Holy Land Five. These are men who were convicted of supporting terrorism. How would you assure New Yorkers...
You just have to be careful with Zoran. Zoran, to me, he just looks like a person that is willing to say what it takes to get the position he's looking for. And once he get that position, he's going to turn into something completely different. Which is, you could make the argument a lot of politicians are like that. But to me, Zoran comes out as very extreme. Because what Zoran believes in a lot of extremist stuff. He would not condemn Hamas. He would not condemn what they did on October 7th to make Israel react the way they reacted. Did Israel do too much? Some might argument they did a little too much, but at the end of the day, Israel intentions throughout this entire 2 years plus, throughout those over 26, 27 months, Israel intentions was to stop this from ever happening ever again. People is just going on about, okay, genocides and this and that. Yes, listen, there was a lot of innocent people throughout those 20-something months that lost their lives. And, bro, I'm a godly person. I love all of my family members all around the world. We're all God kids, 100%. That being said, we have to get into our mind Israel intentions after what happened October 7th was to completely put a stop to that ever happening ever again. And the entire agenda was the only how this will not happen ever again is by us eliminating the people who actually is the reason that happened. It's once again, it's super duper unfortunate for all the little, especially little kids, didn't get a chance to grow up to become something in life, to become the next president. So, it's super sad. That's yes, but there's a lot of people as Zoran that's he's going against. Oh, Israel is bad. Israel is this. Israel is that. But he don't take the time out to realize how bad he's Hamas. He don't take the time to realize that an organization that will build tunnels in the bottom of a hospital to protect themselves That's not bad, people. You don't take the time to realize that an organization that will go into another country and take men and women, kill little kids, kill women, kill elderly people because they hate that religion and they hate those people. You don't take the time to realize like these people are dangerous people. So what Israel did to me, yes, listen, at the end of the day, once again, a lot of innocent people die, and that's unfortunate. But what Israel was trying to do is to completely never, ever have to go through what they went through October 7th. Do I see something wrong with that? If you got to put a permanent stop to something, if you got to put a permanent stop to your boat leaking, what are you going to do? You're going to get your boat out of the water. You're going to follow the pad. You're going to patch up the boat to make sure everything is perfectly fine. So the boat, whenever you drop the boat back in the water, this never happens again. That's what Israel was trying to do. And I'm not trying to sound like a bad person, but that's what they was trying to do to make sure that what happened October 7th never, ever, ever happened ever again. They was trying to make sure they plugged that leak. So whenever they put their boat back, whenever the people go back to living in peace, that will never happen again. And the only how to plug that boat is to make sure all the rust around that hole, all the rust is scraped off, everything is the way it's supposed to be, and patch it. So once that boat going back in that water, everything is fine. Now the ceasefire. You think the people of Israel is still going to live in peace, knowing that Hamas still exists? You honestly think about it. Do you guys honestly think the people of Israel every single day going to live in peace, go home, go to the, like, not thinking Hamas is still available, Hamas is still right over there. At any point in time, Hamas could do this again. At any point in time, this could take place again. So I'm not saying what Israel did was right by continuing the violence and going on with it for so many months, but I understand. I am not saying what went on with the killing of the innocent people was right. Absolutely not. I'm not saying that. Don't get my words twisted up. But I completely understand the fact that what they was doing. I completely understand the fact that what was being taken place is to completely stop this from ever happening ever again. And when you take it to that level, when you want to make sure it completely stop, innocent people's lives are going to be lost. Because you have to realize these people, this organization, are building tunnels, or building their homes, or building office places in the bottom of hospital, of children's hospital. Building tunnels and the office space in the bottom of elderly people's homes. Who you think they care about the kids in the hospital? You think they're doing bad things and going and hide in the bottom of little kids' hospitals? You think they care about the kids in the hospital if they're doing stuff like that? I'm not saying, bro, what was done with the innocent people dying, it was right. Absolutely not. It was not right. But at the end of the day, I completely understand the fact that Israel was trying to stop something like that, would stop what happened October 7th to never happen ever again. I think what the intentions, they had the right intentions to completely eliminate the problem so it could never ever happen again. And, bro, I think President Trump deserves to be praised forever. If and when Mr. President Trump leave office, I think that's an agreement that needs to be in the history books all around the world, for coming up with a ceasefire and hopefully getting long-lasting peace in that region. And do Hamas has to lay their weapon down 100%? Even the president came out the other day, because Hamas is actually killing a lot of their own people. Even President Trump came out the other day and was like, listen, this has to stop. This all, yes, is your country. The people is your people's, yes, but the brutality of executing people in the middle of the road, in the streets, this has to stop. It's this type of violence with groups like that all around the world. This has to stop, dude. It has to stop. And you have a guy like Zoran is not willing to talk and say these people have to go. He's not willing to say none of these things. He thinks this type of groups have to exist with everybody else. People who thinks extreme, he thinks extreme, because you have to be thinking extreme to think a group like Hamas, it's okay to be in society with everybody else. Bro, listen, we all got kids, but I think people who has bad intentions towards others, you should not be around. You should, because it's just a matter of time before something else takes place. That's all I'm saying, though. It's just a matter of time before they act again.
You might be concerned about this, that you would be a mayor for all. You have 1 minute to answer this.
Thank you for this opportunity. When I'm speaking about the responsibility of leading this city, I mean leading not just those who voted for me, leading not just those who vote, but leading every single person who calls the city home. And that includes Jewish New Yorkers. And I have been so thankful for the opportunity I've had to sit with so many Jewish New Yorkers over the course of the primary and through the general. And it's in those conversations that I learned that this phrase evokes many painful memories. Memories of bus attacks in Haifa, of restaurant attacks in Jerusalem. And I heard from a rabbi about their roommate who was killed on one of those buses. And in hearing that and the distance between that impact and the rationale that...
You think this guy never knew that before? This guy went to top-notch schools in the United States. This guy grew up around top-notch people with money. Money brings influence. So you think the words that he was speaking before that, before he sat down with the rabbis, before he sat down with Jewish donors, you think he didn't know the words that he was speaking that was disrespectful to Jewish people and the Jewish religion? You think he didn't know that ahead of time? You think this man is a grown man? You think this man been a politician for years? This man done seen a lot of hateful crime happen towards Jewish people in New York State, in New York City. He done witness being a part of the New York politics. The hateful stuff that Jewish people go through, just like everybody else. But still, I'm just using Jew because he been around. So you think he doesn't know the words that's hurtful and hateful to Jews and Jewish people? Oh no, I just learned about those words when I sat down with rabbis. This is a man you have to be very cautious for going to vote for. I'm just saying. This is somebody that you have to think about before you give the vote, because this man has an extreme mentality, and his disrespect towards our commander-in-chief is disrespectful, and his disrespectful tone when he speaks about our great president, to me, is alarming. To me, is very, very, because the only people that's going to suffer is the people of New York that's really is honestly relying on those federal funds to help them. The elderly people that's relying on the federal funds to help them continue with their lives. The little kids that's suffering from some type of medical crisis that needs their parents, need the federal funds to help them so the kids could get proper medical care. Those are the people that's going to suffer. Zoran has money. His family has money. Zoran could go back to the country he was born in, and he's a millionaire over there. Zoran has land, houses, and a whole bunch of other things in the country he was born. Zoran is trying to make people vote for him with a sympathy vote because, oh, Zoran lives in an apartment. Zoran takes the bus. Zoran takes the train. Zoran is a millionaire in his country where he was born. All the money he makes in the United States, he sends it back to his country. Why he's not investing nothing in America? Why all the stuff he wants to give for free? Why don't he open up a business and employ and give people everything for free? No. Instead of that, he's taking the money. Zoran takes all the money he makes in the United States, send it to his country, buy land, buy animals, build houses, so he could go back there and live a good life. Don't trust that man. I'm telling you guys right now, this man is not a trustworthy person, dude.
Of saying it, of speaking about the Israeli occupation of Palestinian land, is why I said that I would discourage this language that I do not use. And what I'm looking to do as the first Muslim mayor of this city is to ensure that we bring every New Yorker together. Jewish New Yorkers, Muslim New Yorkers, every single person that calls this city home.
Okay.
That they understand they won't just be protected, but they will belong.
Mr. Sliwa, we will get to you first. I'm going to ask a question of Mr. Cuomo. While you are a strong supporter of Israel, you have also been slow to develop a relationship with the city's Muslim community. You have called Mr. Mamdani a terrorist sympathizer. How do you assure those New Yorkers, especially Muslims and Arabic New Yorkers, that you will be a mayor for all? You'll have 1 minute.
Yeah, well, first, I think the Assemblyman created the perception himself. Why wouldn't he condemn Hamas? Why wouldn't he condemn Hassan Piker? Why did it take us here tonight for the first time for him to say it? He still won't denounce, globalize the Intifada, which means kill all Jews. Just say, I denounce it. He won't do it. That's the issue.
Mr.
And his
Cuomo, can you
divisiveness
address the question
is
that we're bringing to
chronic.
you? I think you've made the point, but can you please answer about your own relationship with the Muslim community? You did not visit mosques for many years. More recently, you have been.
Yeah, I don't think in any way the Assemblyman is representative of the Muslim community, which is a vital community in New York City, and I am very fond of and have been working with. I think he's playing his own politics. Many of his positions don't even follow the Muslim faith, so I see them as two totally separate things.
Mr. Mamdani, want to respond?
You know, it took Andrew Cuomo being beaten by a Muslim candidate in the Democratic primary for him to set foot in a mosque. He had more than 10 years, and he couldn't name a single mosque at the last debate we had that he visited.
Listen, Mr. Andrew Cuomo been a governor of New York State for years, and for all those years to be in office, he has to take not just one religion that likes you and love you. It takes every religion. So I'm pretty sure Mr. Andrew Cuomo have a lot of Muslim people that trust him, that believes in him, that know that he's a very good human being. I'm pretty sure there's a lot of Muslim leaders out there that really knows that Mr. Andrew Cuomo policies that he has been in office for all those years helped them. So this is not a case of, oh, Mr. Andrew Cuomo never visit the mosque or, no. I'm pretty sure right now there is Muslim leaders all throughout New York State that will go out and support Mr. Andrew Cuomo over Zoran. Zoran is claiming to be a proud Muslim, but his stance on a lot of Muslim things doesn't match. It doesn't add up. You got to really look into Zoran's whole, I'm a Muslim, I'm this and that. You have to really look into this guy. Like, what's the real Muslim religion and the real beliefs of a Muslim? Zoran doesn't add up to the real belief of a Muslim. So you seen him standing there saying that, oh, I'm the first Muslim candidate, and there's a possibility I could be the first Muslim leader. Your stance on a lot of things that in the Muslim religion and who you are as an individual, it doesn't add up. So how does that work? How does that work? It's just, Zoran to me he's just an extreme person, and his hatred towards our president, his ways of speaking in a disrespectful tone and saying disrespectful stuff to our president, Mr. Donald J. Trump, is just an indicator of what type of person this man really is. This man spent years as an assemblyman, and then he came out and talked about the words that he was saying in regards to Jewish people and the Jewish religion. Things he was saying, he didn't know that it was hurtful and hateful to the Jewish community and to the Jewish people. And he's a Muslim man. So my whole thing is, if he hates President Donald J. Trump that bad for whatever reasons, why would you think a man that's a grown man, for all the hate he has towards the Jewish religion, for all the bad ways that he always had in his head towards the Jewish people, and all of a sudden that's going to go away? You think about what I'm trying to say to you. Why do you think that this man, the hateful ways that he always felt about Jewish people and the Jewish religion, is all going to just disappear when he becomes mayor? This man, it took this man years to all of a sudden to sit down with rabbis and sit down with Jewish leaders to all of a sudden say, oh, you know what? The things that I was speaking about, the words that was coming out of my mouth, I didn't know it was hateful towards Jewish and Jewish people. What? Dude, you've been an assemblyman for years. So stop it. To me, it makes no sense. It makes absolutely no sense, dude. You got to be cautious and be careful who you really put your vote for, dude.
Every community wants and deserves. They want equality and they want respect. And it took me to get you to even see those Muslims as part of this city. And that, frankly, is something that is shameful and is why so many New Yorkers have lost faith in this politics.
Yeah, except,
You know,
that is
as
totally
a-
false.
as
I
a-
worked with the Muslim community for many years.
Name a single mosque you went to when you were the governor. Can you name a single mosque you went to in 10 years?
Before you were ever here. They were
Before I
in
was
this-
here.
Before you were even in state government. I worked with
Okay.
the Muslim community.
Yeah.
Imams presided over state of the states. We worked in religious working groups,
You couldn't
tolerance
visit a
groups,
mosque.
anti-Semitic groups,
Okay,
etc.
all right, gentlemen. Mr. Sleewood, Rosario has a specific question for you, but I'll give you 1 second.
Zoran,
to answer.
this is what disturbs me about you. You will be celebrating your birthday this weekend. In 1991, I was in the streets of Crown Heights with the Guardian Angels for 30 days and 30 nights when the first Democratic Socialist mayor of New York City, that's right, David Dinkins, was a proud member of the Democratic Socialists of America, abandoned the Jews for 3 days. They were left to their own means. And we protected them for 30 days and 30 nights. Then your favorite mayor, Bill de Blasio, in 2019, abandoned the Jews again when they were being attacked in Williamsburg and Borough Park and Crown Heights.
Mr.
And I had to
Sleewood,
bring
thank
the
you.
Guardian Angels in
Thank
for
you.
30 days,
Mr.
30
Sleewood,
nights.
Mr.
Jews
Sleewood.
don't trust that you
Okay,
are going to
Mr.
be
Sleewood.
there for them when they are victims of anti-Semitic attacks.
Okay. Brief response, Mr. Mamdani. We have a specific question for you from Rosarina, but Mr. Mamdani, please.
I agree,
Thank
by
you.
the way.
One of the most meaningful experiences I've had over the course of this campaign has been the conversations I've had with Jewish New Yorkers. Jewish New Yorkers who've told me about the door that they've had to lock that they had kept open for 40 years. Jewish New Yorkers who've told me on the M57 about an apartment the speech therapist was trying to sell when a realtor told her,
You've been an assemblyman for years, for over 5 years, and it takes you running for mayor to all of a sudden speak. Ladies and gentlemen, I know I keep repeating this, but this guy to me is just untrustworthy because you've been an assemblyman for over 5 years, and it takes you now running for the mayor's office to speak to rabbis and speak to Jewish people to realize what was going on in the Jewish community. You think the Jewish people and the Jewish religion should trust someone like this guy? That is a grown man. The words and things that he was saying about Jewish people, he knew there was hurtful words. He knew those things that he was saying was disrespectful towards Jews and the religion of Jewish people. He knew those things. But now he want to come out and talk about, oh no, I didn't know that. Dude, you're a grown man. You went to Ivy League school. You're very intelligent. Don't act like you're stupid, dude. This guy is highly intelligent. This guy family has money, so they put him into the best schools in the United States. But think about this. All of the money this man makes, this man is trying to get sympathy votes from New Yorkers. I live in an apartment. I don't drive a car. I don't have a car. I take the bus, I take the trains. I don't drive. But yet, in the country he was born, he has acres upon acres of land, houses, cars, all type of things. But in New York City, why you don't have nothing? Think about the type of person this guy is. Before you go out in November and place your vote for this guy, be cautious of who this guy is, dude. I'm telling you, it's why you don't have nothing in New York State to help other people out, but you want to give everything for free. But in the country you was born, you're a millionaire. In the country you was born, you have houses, you have acres upon acres of land, you have cars, you have everything. But in New York, oh, I'm taking the bus, I'm taking the train, I don't drive, I live in an apartment. That's your choice, bro. Like, stop all the sympathy nonsense, dude.
put the Jewish books off the table. Jewish New Yorkers who've told me about their fear in living in this city, and I will be a mayor who finally addresses that, not through the theatrics of the politics on this stage, but through action. I'll do that by ensuring that we have police officers outside of
I want to get
synagogues
to
and
a
the high
question.
holy
No,
days.
gentlemen, we have a lot to get to, and we do have a specific question for Mrs. Sleewood. Rosarina.
Thank you, David. Mr. Slee, while you've called for tougher policing of pro-Palestinian protests, and you've suggested that Mr. Mamdani uses languages that is anti-Semitic. How do you assure New Yorkers that you'll be the mayor for all?
Well, I've been there for all people at all times for 46 years as leader of the Guardian Angels here and around the world. Whether it is a religious violation of people's rights to worship as they choose in a mosque, in a church, in a synagogue, or a shul, whether it's because of racial identity. Remember, in the summer of 2020, Asians were under constant attack because of the lockdown and pandemic. I don't remember Governor Cuomo coming to their aid. You were the governor then. I was out there going into all the neighborhoods, Flushing, Bayside. We were in down in Bensonhurst. We were in Chinatown itself.
Once again, this man record as the organization that he do have, once again, I have to always tip my hat to Mr. Curtis and his organization, because he don't play politics with his organization. He doesn't play color of people. He like, wherever the problems lies, he will go in with his organization. So I always have to tip my hat towards Mr. Curtis. But as a politician, to be the mayor, I really don't know about how that goes. But his organization been doing a lot of good things for all New Yorkers, not just for one specific race or religion. His organization's been all around New York State, helping out the less fortunate. So that's, once again, tip hat for this gentleman.
Because they were thought to be carrying COVID. We protected them then. Governor, you were not there for them. De Blasio was not there for them. We understand hate. And in order to counteract hate, you have to get the community involved along with the police to protect people when they're under siege. Jews are under attack now more than ever before. And I don't believe either of you have the capabilities of protecting them with increased anti-Semitism.
That is pure fiction. I passed the no hate in our state, the strongest hate crime law in the United States of America. We tolerate no hatred, no discrimination. We are from every place on this globe, and
Unless
we are
it's
proud
you
of
that's
it.
perpetrating
And,
it.
excuse me, and we're tolerant and we accept. If you notice, the Assemblyman still won't say he believes that Israel has the right to exist as a Jewish state. He is a divisive personality all across the board. NYPD are racist. Barack Obama is evil, liar, and he gave the finger to the Christopher Columbus statue.
By the way, Cuomo, your laws with no cash bail turn the haters right back in the streets to violate and attack again and again and again. You're the reason for that. No cash bail.
Thank you.
Thank you. Go ahead.
There have been a number of absolutely unfounded lies that have been said by Andrew Cuomo. I would just like a moment to address them directly. I've said time and again that I recognize Israel's right to exist. I've said that I will not recognize any state's right. I said that I will not.
As a Jewish state.
If I would be allowed to finish,
Okay.
that I would not recognize any state's right to exist with a system of hierarchy on the basis of race or religion. I have made that very clear, and part of that is because I'm an American who believes in the importance of equal rights being enshrined in every single country, whether we're speaking about Israel or whether we're speaking about Saudi Arabia. You can stand here and you can lie all you want, but New Yorkers
All right,
know
John,
you.
we have
the question.
We want to address some issues here.
All right, and we have another polarizing issue that we would love to discuss with you candidates. And let's talk about the National Guard here in the city of New York. Now, let's go back to Mr. President Donald Trump. One threat hanging over the city is the deployment of the National Guard troops, like he has done, as you all know, in other cities. The NYPD commissioner has rejected the idea as unnecessary, but the president ordered troops to hit the streets of New York. Now, how will you respond? Mr. Sliwa, you have a minute.
There's no need for the National Guard in New York. Kathy Hochul, the governor, when we had a crime crisis in the subways that I'm well familiar with, being down there all the time, unlike my two adversaries, she sent 750 National Guardsmen down into the subways in 2024. Remember the horrible case of Debrina Kawam. Does anybody even say her name anymore? That woman was set on fire by that migrant. As a result of that, the worst crime I've ever seen committed in the subway system, the governor did the right thing. She sent an additional 250 National Guardsmen, giving us a total of 1,000 National Guardsmen in this.
You could say whatever you want in regards to the National Guard. Listen, President Trump, Mr. Donald J. Trump, when coming to deploying the National Guard, the National Guards in every state makes a difference. The exact situation this gentleman is talking about, where the unfortunate woman was set on fire in the train station, in the subway, that's just to show you, when the governor deployed the National Guard in New York City subways, immediately the crime rate went down in the subway system. The violence when the National Guards was deployed, when the governor, Kathy Hochul, deployed all the National Guards in the subway system in 2024, if you notice, immediately all of the nonsense crimes that was going on in the subway system completely stopped. It's a reason that the president is trying to send the National Guards into cities and into states that has a lot of problems with violence. It's a reason, because it works. It works. It works, and it's always going to work. Perfect example of when the governor sent the National Guards in the New York City subway system in 2024. You think about this. So I don't know why politicians, in Chicago, is playing politics with the president to help to bring down the crime rate. And you know what I heard in Chicago, though, specifically Chicago, not to turn states, but in Chicago, the reason why they don't want the National Guards is because the federal government sent so much millions upon millions of dollars to Chicago to combat the violence in Chicago. Obviously, that's millions upon millions of dollars that's going to waste. Why is the government of Chicago getting millions upon millions of dollars from the federal government to reduce the crime rate? And the crime rate is keep higher and higher every time. Why is that possible? The crime rate doesn't go down. Every year you're getting millions of dollars to combat the crimes and the violence in your state, but yet the crime rate is going up every year. Why is that? What the president is trying to do is to bring back the United States as one of the nicest and peacefulest countries in the world, where tourists could come to the United States and visit any of our beautiful state and be comfortable and be happy to spend their money, enjoy, take pictures without having to worry about anything bad happening. That's what the president's intentions are. But this people is trying to play politics and make it complicated. Then you have judges out there who is putting blocks on our great president's policies to help these people. You have people in communities, you have mothers, you have fathers, you have parents of kids sending the president direct messages to please help, please. And then you have politicians with the nonsense. We don't need that. What you mean you don't need that? You have little kids scared to go to school. You have little kids being scared to be on the bus stop waiting, and you don't need that. Stop it, bro. It's ridiculous. Stop the politics, bro.
Our mayor, Eric Adams, was telling us it was all a perception. So Governor Hochul has responded. I would tell the President of the United States, since I'm familiar with cities all across America having guardian angels there, if you were going to send the National Guard, you don't need to send them to New York City. There are other cities that could desperately use their help in dealing with their crime crisis.
Thank you, Mr. Sliwa. Mr. Mamdani, how will you respond?
I agree with Police Commissioner Tish in that we do not need the National Guard here in New York City. We do not need them for the purpose of safety, because if it was safety that President Trump was so concerned about, he would send them to the 8 out of 10 states that have the highest levels of crime in this country, but he won't, because they're all run by Republicans. What New Yorkers need is a mayor who can stand up to Donald Trump and actually deliver on that safety. When Donald Trump sent ICE agents on people in Los Angeles, Andrew Cuomo said that New Yorkers need not overreact. That is the furthest answer that New Yorkers are looking for. They are looking for someone who will lead, someone who will say that they will have their back, someone who will actually fight for the people of this city. And that's who I am, because I'm not funded by the same donors that gave us Donald Trump's second term, which isn't something that Andrew Cuomo can say.
Thank you, Mr. Mamdani.
Yeah, first, the answer in the subways is not more National Guard. I put National Guard in the subways also. It's more NYPD is the answer. But the National Guard is not, he's not sending in the National Guard to do any real function. It's control, it's power. He's trying to say these Democrats don't know how to run these cities, and it's a political gesture by sending in the National Guard. He has said if the assemblyman is elected, he will take over New York. Forget the National Guard.
But this is
He
the
has said, I'm
question.
going
The
to take
question
the
is,
funds.
if they order the troops to come here, what will you
Yes,
do?
well, I went through this with him. He sent the National Guard to 20 cities when I was governor. You know what city he didn't send them to? New York. Why?
Give this
Because
a
I
look.
said to him, don't you dare, we don't need it, and he backed down, and he will again.
So that proves a good
So
relationship
wait a
with the
second,
president.
the president is gonna back down to you, Andrew Cuomo. I know you think you're the toughest guy alive, but let me tell you something. You lost your own primary, right? You were rejected by your Democrats.
Why
And
did
you
we
have a
send
difficult
National Guard?
understanding that what the term
All
no
right,
is.
all right.
You're
Okay.
not gonna stand up to
Okay,
Donald
thank you.
Trump.
Thank
And
I agree
No,
with Curtis.
You're not going to stand up to Donald Trump.
Okay.
And he can't stand up to Donald Trump, who
All right,
knocked
we have
him
a-
right
we have
on
a
his
follow-up.
toes.
We have a
And I
You
see-
follow-up.
negotiate with him. You don't
Okay.
fight with him
Thank
because
you.
only the people.
Mr. Cuomo, they could say whatever they want about Mr. Andrew Cuomo. Him and President Trump has a mutual respect relationship, and that's something that's very important. Unfortunately, Mr. Curtis does not have that mutual respect relationship with Mr. Donald J. Trump. That Zoran guy, he definitely doesn't have that type of relationship with Mr. Donald J. Trump, and that's where the problems lies. You can't have a mayor that don't have that type of basic relationship with your commander-in-chief of your country. You can't have a mayor of your city that have no type of relationship based on respect, based on moral respect with the president of your country. That's the problem with Zoran, and that's the problem with Curtis. They could say whatever they want about Mr. Governor Cuomo. Mr. Governor Cuomo have a relationship with Mr. Trump that's based on respect. Mr. Governor Cuomo could dislike stuff Mr. President Trump was saying. They could come to an agreement. They could come to an agreement somewhere in the middle. You need that. Those two other candidates, unfortunately, they don't have that mutual respect relationship with our president. So it's always going to create conflict. And the people that's going to end up getting hurt at the end of the day is going to be the people of New York City. The people that's honestly relying on the federal funds to accomplish the day-to-day tasks is the people that's going to get hurt. Zoran don't care. Zoran has money. He could just go back to his country and live as a king. All the acres of land, all the houses and everything he has in his country, he could go back there and live as a king forever. So he could care less. He's running a campaign on free everything. Who's going to pay for the free stuff? Who's going to pay for the free stuff that you need the money from the federal government to give to the city to actually help the people that really needs the money? Who's going to come up with the money then? Ladies and gentlemen, I hope you enjoyed this video. Before I get off, I want to take the time out to show my respect, my utmost respect, and my gratitude to our great United States President, Mr. Donald J. Trump. So I salute to you all the time. May God bless you and your family, sir. May God watch over you and your families on this beautiful, wonderful day and forever. May God watch over you on your trips within the United States and on trips outside the United States. That's our Commander-in-Chief, our great United States President, Mr. Donald J. Trump, and his family. To all and every of God kids all throughout the United States, may God bless us all. To all and every of God kids all around the world, may God bless you guys all. Ladies and gentlemen, always treat people with the respect, loyalty that you expect others to treat you with, the kindness, the care. Just always treat people the way you want to be treated. Always do what's right in the eyes of God and his family. Always make God a part of your decision making every single day. And when you go out in November, ladies and gentlemen, to cast your vote, be very cautious of who you actually is casting your vote for to become the new mayor. Because you have to realize that the new mayor has to get along with every and all of the people of New York City. And New York City have the biggest diverse circle throughout the United States. New York City is where majority of different backgrounds of people, different religions, different color of people. There's different races. Like New York City has the majority of everything. So just make sure when you go out to cast your vote in November, you vote for a mayor that could actually get along with every and all of God kids within New York City. Make sure you vote for a mayor that could actually get along with our commander-in-chief, with our president, to actually get things done for the people of New York City. Make sure you go out and vote for a mayor that can actually do stuff and get things done. Mr. Andrew Cuomo did it for years. No matter what people might say about Mr. Andrew Cuomo, he resigned. Everything that was said about him, everything that was said about him was proven untrue. Mr. Andrew Cuomo did a lot of good things for the city of New York, for the state of New York. Mr. Andrew Cuomo, yes, did he mess up certain times? Absolutely. As God kids, we're not perfect. Did he mess up? 100%. He messed up? Absolutely. But if you're looking at the good things he have done, the good things outweigh any bad things and all of the bad things that he have ever done, being in politics. So look at the good things that he have done to better the people's lives of New York City and New York State in general. Mr. Curtis, tip my hat for you, sir, for your organization. God bless you. You have a great organization that helped out a lot of communities, a lot of neighborhoods. You know, you have a great organization. May God bless you in this race. Zoran, I just think this man, his whole demeanor towards the president, his whole demeanor towards different religion groups is going to be a big problem with him being a mayor of New York City. I think the fact that he's a grown man and he was using the words that he was using, that he knew, the words that he was saying, certain words that was coming out of his mouth was disrespectful towards the Jewish community, was disrespectful towards Jewish people in general. And he took him having to run for mayor to sit down with rabbis and Jewish leaders to realize those words was bad, to realize those words was hurtful words. You're a grown man. You're very, very educated. You're a highly educated man. You've been in city politics for years. So you knew the words that was coming out of your mouth was hateful towards the people of Jewish and the religion of Jewish people. You knew that for years. You kept saying it. It's your choice, ladies and gentlemen, who you vote for. Just be cautious what you do comes November. Till the next video, ladies and gentlemen, till the next stream, take care of yourself. Always do what's right for each other, man. Always respect each other. Let's work together to make this world a better place. Let's not judge people based on the religion, based on the sexual preference, based on who they, our differences. Let's not be judgmental to each other's differences. Let's love each other the way God made us, and let's work together to resolve our problems. So a great president, once again, a salute to you, sir. God bless you. To a great president, Mr. Donald J. Trump. Whatever you're doing, sir, today, safe travels.